According to Valentinius, this secret tradition provides the key that is essential for a complete understanding of Jesus' message. You have to really get deep into it, apparently. Well, obviously. One of his followers put this in the following words. The scriptures are ambiguous. He's taken it a lot of different ways. The truth cannot be extracted from them by those who are ignorant of tradition. So if you don't know, if you haven't studied, if you haven't looked, if you haven't dug, if you haven't drunk of the past, you cannot understand. You can only be taught what is somebody's going to read to you. And that is what's happened. Now, Irenaeus against whatever this is, heresies. The Valentinians claim that the secret teachings are meaningful only to those who are scripturally mature. So you understand, you have read these things and you understand them. You know, at least you read them. You have to be scripturally mature. You have to have some understanding of the past. If a person was not ready to receive them, they seem like nonsense. Well, and they did to me. I mean, obviously they seem like nonsense. Giant dragons and snakes and, I mean, just it's insane, but it is true. Their value can be judged only on a spiritual basis. Well, now we can judge it on a material basis because that's where I come from, is a material background. According to the Valentinian tradition, Paul and the other apostles revealed these teachings only to those who were spiritually mature. So, and really, they were smart, because to talk, it's like throwing the pearls at swine, is what they say. Everything that you read it's 100% right. Although there's a lot of things that just are confusing as can be about how you're going to hate your parents, and you're like things like this are, the cost of discipleship. Now, it says, I tell you, not one of those men who were invited will taste my banquet. Whatever that means. Large crowds were now traveling with Jesus, and he turned and said to them, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Now, so we have to hate the worldliness, is what it boils down to. You don't hate him as a person. You hate the fact that we are part of this system, and you can't stop it. You can't do anything about it, because the Pharisee and the academics own us. They literally own us. The academics literally own society. Think about this. And it's written here I have a ton of them to talk about. Their destruction does not sleep. The teachers, very, very, very bad. And they will never turn around and look, because they haven't for years. And they will never do it, I don't think. But that's up to them. Now, let's just talk about this for a second. All right? Some of the Pharisees in the crowd said to him as he approached the Mount of Olives, Teacher, rebuke your disciples, because they're all screaming, yay, Jesus is coming. And Jesus said, if they remain silent, the very stones will cry out. And they are. All right, this is the academics. These are the teachers. These are the leaders. Matthew 13:16. In them the prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled. You will be ever hearing and never understanding. It only goes to the ones that are ready. You will be ever seeing and never perceiving. The hearts have grown callous, hardly hear with their ears, or and their eyes are closed. Otherwise they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, turn, and I would heal them. But blessed are your eyes, because they see, and your ears, because they hear. Truly I tell you, many prophets and righteous men longed to see what you see, did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. And many still do not see it and do not hear it, regardless of how forced in their face it is. They just are not ready, and they are not going to be on the right side of eternity, it appears to me. That's what I see. All right, these are kind of bad statements. Titus 1:16. They claim to know God, but by their actions they deny Him. They're detestable, disobedient, unfit for doing anything good. These are the people that are telling you there's no God. We're all dead dust. All of that sort of stuff. Jude 1:4. Certain individuals whose condemnation was written about long ago have secretly slipped in among you. They are ungodly people who pervert the grace of our God into a license for immorality and deny Jesus Christ, our only sovereign Lord. And they have, so don't bring that stuff around here. You want to learn reality, you come here and we'll teach you about, we all came from scum and we're all dead dust, and there was, it gives you a license to do as you please, because there is no commitment to eternity. There is no obligation to God or Jesus or any of that stuff. Peter 2:4. In their greed, these false teachers will exploit you with tales they have concocted, and they will not turn around, and they won't look at evidence. Truth is not anything that they care about. The long-standing verdict against them remains in force. Their destruction does not sleep. And then it goes on a little worse than that, because they are absolutely destined for hell. And that's not good. See what's in front of you. There's nothing hidden. All right? And then it talks about the fleeing serpent. In that with his great and mighty sword, he'll kill the dragon that lives in the sea. There's so much that is written. I could go on here for days. The stones of the walls will cry out, and the beams of the woodwork will echo it. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and they will not turn their eyes to reality. Living stone, coming to him as a living stone, rejected indeed by men, chosen by God and precious. You also are living stones. You're being built up as a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God through Jesus Christ. We are the stones that will enter heaven. And the ones that have no ability to see and have lost their eyes and lost their ears, I tremble for them. I tremble for them. And they should tremble for themselves. Eternity is a long time. And professing them to be wise, they became fools. This is a friendly, loving warning. This is not an admonishment of, anything nasty to anybody. I tried every which way to get through, and now I'm just going to put it all out there. All right, this is something I've been chosen to present. And I was literally chosen, there's no question about it. I woke up in the morning one morning, says, there's something in the woods calling my name. I said, my wife, something in the woods calling my name. I went out, eventually found the giants. I had them DNA tested, proven in every way. And when I found them, I came back, I plugged in my computer, looking for giant human beings, and it came up and said, these things are for you to see and for others as a test. And that is what's happened, and it's become mostly failing grades. 100% failing in academia. I haven't found one single PhD that has been willing to accept reality. Unless you're that one, I would like to hear from you. But maybe there's some that would say it, but they would hide from saying, I can't say this in front of anybody else because I will be destroyed. That's the key. They own you. Academia literally owns humanity. Very, very insidious, tricky, devious, and in my mind, disgraceful. To not, although, it's written that they will never see because they're not ready. Now, having them not be ready and be able to see, does that give them the right to own humanity? I don't think so. So what do I do? Just let them off the hook and say, oh, there's no problem. Let them just be the way they are because that's the way they are. Well, that's the way they are, and now they own you. So now you have to be submissive to them and pay them to validate you that you will agree to their terms. That's all it is now. It's an agreement to their terms. That's what that document is. Your degree is an agreement to the terms that they dictated to you, and now you know that those terms are based on truth. And they won't turn around. So how do we handle that? There's a war going on, and I'm seriously, literally mean it. They are against God in every single way that I can see. But I have to go back to the fact that Jesus said they're not going to get it. They're just not going to get it. Here's my problem. They're in charge of you, and they don't get it. So they force you to do things that you lose reality. They force you against truth. That's not right. It's just not right.